Welcome back to video number 4 of 4 orientation videos. I apologize that the last video was really rushed at the end, but you will be able to figure out how to get to grades, and you will just see your grades there and it will be just fine. I'm going to move on to VoiceThread right now. VoiceThread is a free web-based application that we will be using this semester. And what your job is to do right now, we're going to do this right after I'm done giving you directions. You will stop the video and you will go and register and make an account for VoiceThread. The VoiceThread app allows me to upload any PowerPoint to this application and to do voiceovers for the PowerPoints, and also to be able to do some writing on the PowerPoint and to do any video embedding. So I can do that, and you can as well. So it's very interactive, and I will be expecting you to do some commenting and some directing on the PowerPoint that I upload. And I will be looking at that, and I will be keeping track of your participation on the voice threads. These voice threads are really my teaching. And this week I'm going to be teaching you about the 6 traits of writing, and we will be going through each of the 6 traits, and I will be giving examples of that, and then I will be asking you to demonstrate some knowledge of the 6 traits in writing in the voice thread. So what you need to have, there's my dog. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you have your account active, you have an account, and that you've done the tutorials, so you know what you're doing before we get there. So I'm just going to show you here. I don't know here's week 1, and here are our videos, and then here's the VoiceThread folder, and here's the link to VoiceThread. It will take you right to VoiceThread, and you'll register. Okay, and then we'll navigate back to VoiceThread. And here are the tutorials. They're right here in D2L, all linked for you, so you can just go and start on that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to week 1, and then back to our PowerPoint. And so stop the video, go ahead, get your voice thread all taken care of, and then come back and we're going to start in content. All right. Here we are, and what we're going to start with is a writing assignment. And this writing assignment is going to be defining justice. And I want you to do this before we do anything else, because I want this to be the first thing that you do before we get to any content, because I want to know what your thinking is before we start the content. Okay, so what I want is for you to go to this discussion board and take 7 minutes to do a very comprehensive definition of the word justice, what that means. Okay, and so on D2L, here's week 1. You're going to have to scroll all the way down from week 1 to where it says writing assignments, and here's the discussion board. And this discussion board is a discussion board that is between you and me. It's a writer's notebook discussion board, so I am the only one that's going to be able to read it. I want you to title this number 1 and then the date, and I use July 19th because it is not July 19th. That's my daughter's birthday, and it's in the summer, so I know that it's not July 19th. But you're going to put today's date in here. So number 1 and today's date, and then you're going to take your 7 minutes and write a comprehensive definition of the concept of justice. So I want you to do that right now, so it's done before we move on, and then come back. So stop the presentation, and I'll see you in 7 minutes. All right, we're going to do that again. We're going to do another 7-minute letter to me. This letter is going to be different than your letter of introduction. Your letter of introduction is the purpose of that is for the class you to get to know your classmates and for your classmates to get to know you on sort of a personal level. This is a letter to me, and the purpose for this is for me to know if you have access to campus. So you can see the first bullet point there. It says, where do you live? Do you have access to come to Normandale, right? I want to know that to see if I can meet with you or not. So that's that purpose. And then I really am interested in your past writing instruction and how that went, and what kind of a writer you are now. What kind of writing do you do in your life right now? And what you want this class to be like. What do you hope for in this class? And then, of course, a place for you to ask some questions. So this purpose is for me to get to know you as a writer. And so I want you to go ahead, stop this, take another 7 minutes, and write a letter to me on the discussion board. And I will show you where that is. It's week 1. It's not under writing assignments. It's under introductions. So that is right here, 7-minute writing to Meg. You'll click on that. It'll take you right here. It has the same directions here as are on this slide. Okay? So go ahead, stop the video, and do that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is you're going to take some notes. You should have a designated notebook for this class, and I'm going to expect you to be taking notes all throughout the semester. So it's really important that you have a notebook for this semester. This activity, I'm going to have you put your phone away. If you're like me, your phone is right next to the computer. It might even be in your hand because you might be doing some things on your phone as you're listening to this presentation. But right now I want you to put your phone away. Don't use it. Take out your notebook, and I want you to write down everything you remember from 6 weeks ago. So if you were in fall semester, I want you to write down everything that happened on July 15th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything you remember, I want you to write down. If you're in spring semester, I want you to think about December 5th and what you were doing between 2 and 3 o'clock. Both of these dates are about 6 weeks from the beginning of our semesters. So go ahead and write down all the things. Just stop the video, go and just do as many things as you can remember, 2 to 3 in the afternoon, 6 weeks ago, and then come back. Okay, so I'm going to let you use your phone to fill in your memory. And I want you to think about how it felt when you couldn't use your phone to figure out what you did 6 weeks ago. Okay? The reason I wanted you to do this is to see the contrast between what you could remember on your own and once you're starting to use your phone and how that's different. So you can go to Instagram and probably see pictures of your entire day 6 weeks ago and put your whole day together just based on the pictures that you posted or what Snapchats you sent or whatever was on your email or whatever was on Facebook, or maybe you have a calendar. We have such documented lives that we can piece together what we were doing on any given day because everything is documented. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and fill in all the gaps and then come back. Okay, the reason I wanted you to do this exercise is because in our podcast that we are going to be listening to this semester, it's Serial Season 1. And it's really important for you to understand how difficult it is to remember something 6 weeks ago. So what I want you to do right now is to go to our serial discussion board. And I want you to write your notes. Like, how did it feel when you were trying to remember? And how much did you forget when you couldn't use your phone? Like, how was it different than using your phone? And just do a little like blurb about that experience, about trying to remember 6 weeks ago. and then come back, and we're going to start with Serial episode 1 when you come back. So go ahead, and you're going to be adding to that discussion board after you listen to Serial 2. So go ahead and go and write some notes on the Serial discussion board and then come back. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to listen to the first episode of Season 1 of Serial. Season 1 of Serial is all about Hay and Adnan. And you are going to listen and take notes. The notes that you take throughout this podcast will only help you at the end of the semester when you're going to have to do an argument project based on the podcast. The work you put in now will help you at the end of the semester. So just keep that in mind when you are doing your Serial podcast stuff, that all of the work that you're doing at the time will only help you at the end of the semester. So go ahead and listen and take notes. I have the link here, but this is a video, so it won't work. But it is linked in our week 1 homepage in the folder Serial. So go ahead and go there, and you can get there that way. So go ahead, stop the video, and then come back after you've listened. All right, so here is the discussion board, and this is the prompt that you are going to be answering, and you can add to your little blurb about your memory, trying to remember 6 weeks ago. Okay, so you're going to be writing your reflection based on this prompt. What were or are you guilty as a teenager? Think about that. If you're a teenager right now, what are you guilty of? And if you aren't a teenager right now, what could you have been guilty of? Okay, so go ahead and read this very carefully and answer all parts in your reflection of Season 1, Episode 1 of Serial, The Alibi. Okay, and then come back. All right, so here are the assignments we have gone over. We have completed the definition of justice discussion board. You have completed your 7-minute writing to me. You have signed up for VoiceThread, and you've watched the tutorials. You've completed your letter of introduction, and you've posted that to the discussion board. That needs to, if you haven't done that, it needs to be done by Wednesday. And then you're going to do your replies by Friday at noon, because all of these assignments are due Friday at noon, with the exception of this definition of justice thing, which is due Monday. It's due right away. I want this done right away. Okay? So everything else will be, your discussion board for your letter of introduction. You should post it by Wednesday, reply by Friday. You have listened to episode 1, The Alibi, and you should do your post, your first post by Wednesday, and you need to reply to at least 3 of your classmates by Friday. So that's what we've gone over so far. Your next assignments are to listen and interact and complete the VoiceThread. The VoiceThread is in the 6 traits folder, and it goes through the 6 traits of writing and uses the essay A Sin by Brian Doyle. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to do one more 7-minute writing things, and it's about coming of age, and all the directions are right on the discussion board. And then you have a paper due. This is a reflection paper based off of the essay Good Muslims Do Bad Things Too. And you're going to read this, and then you are going to write a reflection paper, and you're going to have that in the assignment folder by Friday at noon. Be sure to keep your course schedule close and check your assignment due dates and times. And I'm so excited to read all of your work. Hooray! First week of school. I'm so excited. So I'll see you in our class online. Have a great week.